thank you so much for coming to talk to me today. So for those who don't know, maybe you could, between you, give us a little bit about Occupying Ed, what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. Occupying Ed is a film following a tax accountant from the Midwest named Ed Cross, and he discovers that he has multiple personality disorder. In the process of discovering himself, he falls in love and finds himself caught in a love triangle between two people.
And talking about love triangles, which are complicated to start off, I think this is an extremely complicated one. Where do you start with a story like that? How do you sort of start to present it? I guess for you as yourself, dealing with that, and you almost bring different aspects to that when it's such a complicated situation.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, structurally, it's really great that the journey the audience gets to take is the same as Ed's. They take it with him. The confusion, the fragmented memories, and it allows the audience to really kind of get to know Ed and hopefully root for him and take the journey with him.
Well, his alternate personality is a woman whom we never see until towards the end of the film, which I'm not really giving up. I mean, you want to see it. But the whole time, you don't know who she is, and you're learning about her through his eyes as well. And you begin to actually love her and really want to know her, so that when you do see her, she's a complete person, even though you don't know her at all prior to that point.
Yeah. And from a different perspective, your character, how would you say it was portraying her?
Well, it was just a gorgeous script by Jim Lair Beard. Just really, really wonderful to be a sort of a part of it, really. And her character is interesting because she actually falls in love with Helena, which is the alternate personality of Ed first off. So actually, she doesn't know Ed to begin with. And then actually on their first meeting, she kisses Ed's face off and then looks kind of disappointed, which as first meetings go is kind of a bit, so... so they definitely go on a journey together, and it was a really, really lovely thing to sort of play that. And also, she's also very torn between being in love with two people, even if they are in the same body. Has its she's conflicted, and that's something that I found sort of very interesting to play. As well. So yeah, they both go on this kind of weird journey together.
Yeah. The concept is just very refreshing and original, and I think that's kind of what spoke to the two of us, definitely. I think the rest of the cast as well, and it's a great story about tolerance and acceptance and the journey to self-discovery.
And so what was it that attracted you to the project, to the script?
Well, when I first got the script, it was from a mutual friend that had worked with us on another film before. And he said, I have a friend that wrote this script, would you read it? And I thought, usually that means it's something horrible, right? So I read my friend's script. I'm like, all right, John. So he sent it to me, and I started reading it, and I'm like, wow. And I was just like, I was in it, and I fell in love with it right away because the characters were so full, and I really wanted to know who this person was. And it really hit at the perfect time in my life when I just thought, I've never really done a romantic comedy that's also a drama and something that's also really quirky, that's not really a cliche like you would normally see in a romantic comedy. So it was challenging, and it was really fun, and it was just a joy to create that world.
And it is sort of genre bending. But so where did you go about sort of pitching the film, to make sure it didn't fall too heavily in one area?
Well, I think it was written a little bit lighter than it ended up being, because once we started, especially with these two, when they accessed actual emotions, and well, I mean, not like fake emotions.
No, yeah.
But when you did something that was written as here, and then they played it with more of a heart that brought it here or there and just different colors, you started feeling for them in a completely different way, and then it became sort of a drama. And then it became something that was about love and love of yourself, love of who you are inside, or love of who you want to love, and who is that person? Is it this person that looks like this, or is it the woman inside him that she fell in love with to begin with? Or is it all one person? I mean, it's just really interesting to think about.
And speaking of Ed, he's a pretty complex character, but also, very relatable. identity crisis, it's not too far, far away from what we can relate to. How did you approach this character when you first read it?
Well, of course, there were certain aspects of the character that I could identify with, being Christopher, but it was just so compelling to me to see this man who literally felt like he had no control over his life, and I feel like we as human beings, we go through that constantly at different points in our life, and I think that was the first thing that kind of stuck to me as relatable that I could start from and grow with. And I think with every day of shooting and discussions with Steve and working with Holly and the rest of the cast, the character just kind of evolved and developed on its own without really needing to force a lot. So yeah, and I think that it's interesting to watch this person start here at A, and follow him on this arc to what you see with the final product in the end of the film.
So, how has it been being part of the Raindance Film Festival?
Raindance is my favorite film festival. I am now a veteran. I have consecutively premiered here for the last 6 years. And prior to that, I was here for a year or two before that, and another one. I think I've been to like 10, maybe 11 Raindance film festivals, which is fantastic. Like, I love it. And I have more coming next year. And I'm just like, this year, when they were scheduling, I called and I'm like, is my usual time slot open? Because I just loved that particular day and time. And they're like, yeah, that's your slot. I'm like, right on.
He's waiting for his plaque.
I know. Somewhere. I don't know where we put it, but like, it's great. I love it. It's the best. I think it's the best independent film festival for this type of audience and filmmaking. I think that there are a lot of film festivals that say that they're independent, but really they're just conglomerates of, just corporate whatever. And it's not exactly the same message that Raindance actually promotes and teaches and supports throughout the entire year, which is fantastic.
And so what were your first sort of relationship with Raindance? How did you get involved?
In 1998, my film Pep Squad premiered at Raindance, and then a few years later, my film Firecracker was the first film to sell out both two screenings before the tickets were even basically on sale, and then they had to have another screening added and stuff like that. It was just really, really crazy, and that's still when it was at the Trocadero. And then I keep making movies that the British audience really likes, and so I keep coming back. It's lovely. I love it.
So what would you say you would want the audience not necessarily to expect, but maybe experience or even take away from viewing the film?
Well, I think that's the beautiful thing about this film. It's like you were saying, it's genre bending. There's so many things that you can get out of this film. There's love, there's joy, there's heartbreak. There's so many emotions that you can feel through these characters and the story that's being told. So I think at the end, for me personally, I want an audience member to walk away feeling enlightened and better about themselves, and knowing that there is such a thing as love and acceptance, and through heartbreak and struggle, you can truly find yourself and embrace who you are, no matter who that is.